Welcome to Spreadsheet Tips Right-Click Formatting. What I have here is just a really thrown together spreadsheet that you might do, like let's say you manage a restaurant and you have a wait staff. Here we've got 5 wait staff, Tara, Veronica, Jasmine, Jerome, and Frank. And then we've got some kind of statistics based on their performance that you accumulated and you want to present to the owner of the restaurant. So we're going to go ahead and take this same data and format it so that, one, it's easier to read, two, it makes more sense, and it just looks a lot more professional. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy this and just paste it here below so we can compare the data. And I just did a Control-C to copy and a Control-V to paste, just so we can compare the before and after when we're done. Okay, so right-click formatting is so simple. Just as it mentions, you can go ahead and just highlight an area, right-click, and say Format Cells. Okay, and then we got all kinds of options to go ahead and make our data look and read better. So for, let's just say this is our headers, we can go ahead and fill. And let's just go ahead and maybe we'll fill in with like a darker color and just say okay. And you can see how that looks. Well, now it's kind of hard to read our labels here. So I'm going to right click again, Format Cells. Maybe I want to change my font color, to white. Let's go ahead and see how that looks. It doesn't look too bad. Maybe we want to highlight, our employees or of our wait staff. So we can right-click, Format Cells again. We could fill it with color. We could fill it with pattern. Here's different patterns. I mean, that would maybe be a little bit distracting, but it's an option. So here, let's go ahead and just fill it with maybe a lighter color just to kind of give our wait staff a little bit more of a highlight here just from the data that's in our table. Okay, we could also, if we wanted to, maybe put in a border. Let's go ahead and say Format Cells. There's all kinds of borders that we could do. Maybe we just want to underline these headings, and we'll just say okay. And there's an underline there. It's a little hard to see because of the coloring, but it gives just a little bit further definition from the data. So now let's take a look at our data. We have a number of different types of data. And right now it kind of looks, you can't just look at it quickly and be like, oh yeah, that's a percentage. So let's just start with our number of sale transactions. Here, let's just highlight, right-click, and say Format Cells. If we go to the first tab here, which is number, we have all kinds of different types of numbers to pick from. In this case, general number probably is a very good pick because we shouldn't have half transactions or anything like that. A transaction is a transaction, so I'm okay with that one. I'm going to leave it. I might want to go ahead and center the data. Maybe that looks a little bit better. So we'll leave that the way it is. Let's go ahead and look at our sales revenue. Right-click, Format Cells. Here, this is revenue. I'd really like to see it in currency. Okay. So I like the dollar symbol. Maybe I do want decimal places, maybe I don't. For this big picture analysis, decimal places aren't going to swing my analysis one way or another. So I'll probably drop that down to 0 just to go ahead and see their total sales revenue. So now I'm going to have a dollar sign, it's going to have a comma, and it's going to have no decimal places. So and they give you a sample up here of what it would look like. Let's go ahead and say okay. Well, that seems a lot easier to read. I can very easily tell we're talking about sales revenue here. How about average sale per transaction? Okay, so you know, if I'm a wait staff, am I mainly waiting, you know, are my customers buying just appetizers, drinks? Maybe they're doing appetizers, drinks, and a meal. Like, this will give me as a manager a good idea of, you know, who's upselling that appetizer. So let's go ahead and format these cells. Now here, what really bothers me is this one cell is giving me crazy amounts of decimal points here. I really don't want it to do that. And again, currency would be a good choice. So here you can limit the number of decimal places. You can say you want a lot of decimal places or you want no decimal places. Here, let's go ahead with 2 decimal places. I can see the value of breaking it down all the way into cents. I want to keep my dollar sign in there. I'm going to say OK. Boy, that looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? So here, Tara, you know, she must be working more at the bar because she's not really selling a lot per transaction. But Veronica looks like she's got no problem selling that appetizer, drinks, and a meal. All right, let's look at our total revenues. Now this is a percentage. I think this is a little bit hard to read here. So let's go ahead, right-click and format cells. Here we'd like it to actually display as a percentage, okay? And I don't always like to see decimal places when I do a percentage. So I'm going to say, give me the percentage sign. I don't want to see any decimal places, and we'll say OK. Okay. So now I think we can easily see that Tara, maybe she's part-time, doesn't work as much as Veronica does, but Veronica seems to be our main sales waitress. You know, so it's just something interesting to know if you are a supervisor of this wait staff. So now we can take a look. I'm going to go ahead and make this also currency. So which set of data would you rather look at? Would you rather look up here and try and figure out what I'm, as the owner of the restaurant, what I'm trying to say? Or would you rather take a look at this presentation of the same data? I think that, you know, just spending a little bit of time formatting can make a big difference, especially when you're presenting something to your boss or supervisor or owner. So hopefully you enjoyed just a quick run through of right-click formatting and can implement that into your spreadsheets as well.